Out of interest, because obviously you've been seeing patients for over 20 years now. This is a genuine question. I'm just intrigued. Do you notice excess of obsession over their looks for people who are trying to get a lot of these treatments versus someone who isn't? Like the people who are fixated on getting those things done regularly or like trying to fix the aging on their face.
Yes.
Do you notice, a trend in happiness, satisfaction, contentness, all of those things when you meet them? Because obviously as dermatologists, you talk about so much when you're on the chair.
Yeah. I mean, and as we're doing stuff, we talk to our patients. So especially over 20 years, you really get to know them.
Yes.
I mean, I think in the older people, like if people are starting a little later in life, they're genuinely, just trying to age gracefully. Right. And I love when people come in and they say to me, okay, what would you recommend? Because a lot of people come in, and especially the younger subset will sometimes come into me and say, okay, I need, and it's like a laundry list, right? And that can get dangerous because I do feel like, I've got 4 teenagers. So I see it in their subset too, where there's really this focus on kind of the outward beauty at the expense of inner beauty sometimes, right? Like, so, my kids will sometimes say to me, Mom, like, what is my aesthetic? Like, am I like, I don't know, clean girl or cottagecore, and I'll be like, okay, describe that to me. And they'll say like, well, clean girl aesthetic is like, I don't know, you carry a Stanley and you work out and you don't wear very much, jewelry or makeup. And I'll say, well, what about the inside? Like, what about, like, are you altruistic? Are you empathetic? Are you, what's your self-worth like, right? And so I will say we're one of the practices that do sometimes, really discourage people from getting a lot of procedures because I don't want someone to think a procedure will make them happier, right? It won't. You have to do the self-work. And I think people who are like, well, if I was just a little more this, like if this was just a bit this or this was just a bit that, I would be so much happier. Those people always find that that's not true, So I think I want to make people look and feel their best. And sometimes, sometimes that ends in me saying, hey, why don't we talk to somebody about X, Y, or Z, and then let's circle back to this,
That's a really good point. No, I appreciate what you shared on that actually, because I think there's such a fine balance between it. It's like, okay, I'm going to get this done and it's going to be out of sight, out of mind. But then am I watching for it to like leave my face or the next time I have to do it, and it can sometimes become a cycle that I've seen people get into. So I think there's a fine balance between the desire to upkeep, but then the desire to continuously like look a specific way, and it can really take over.
And find somebody also, I will say to your listeners, who will say no to you.
Yes, exactly.
Because you don't want somebody who's like, okay,
because
you
want a bit of filler here and here, I'll do it.
No problem, because that, really trust the expertise of the person doing it. Sometimes people will come in and they'll say, well, I really don't like this line. And I'll say, okay, well, I'm not going to fill that because actually what you really need is you need some filler up here because your face is falling or it's sagging, And so I will say find somebody who you trust enough to trust the process, right?